Okay. Do you see where it's wrapped around the knob?
I wouldn't say that's wrapped around. I would say that's hanging over it.
Okay. You see where it's hanging over it?
I can, yes, in this photo.
All right. And then do you know when this photo was taken?
No.
All right. Let me show you 162 again. Would you agree with me that it's not hanging over in this photo?
I don't see the knob in the... Oh, yes. It's not hanging over that. Right.
Did you personally move this line?
No, I did not.
All right. But one of these pictures was taken on the 25th and one was taken on the 29th. Would you agree?
I don't know when they were taken.
But somebody's moving this, right? It wouldn't move by itself.
Right.
Whose decision, Miss Fleak, was it to leave the house open after the 25th of June?
I don't know.
Would it have been the coroner's decision, the police decision? Who was in charge of this investigation to make that decision?
In charge of securing the residence, that's usually up to the handling police agency, which would be the LAPD.
All right.
In some cases, if the coroner requests it to be secured, the agency will agree or not agree to that, depending on the case.
But to your knowledge, the entire house was open to whomever wanted to enter the house.
I don't know that.
Well, did Detective Smith ever tell you when he spoke to Dr. Murray?
Sustained.
When did Detective Smith tell you he had spoken to Dr. Murray?
I don't remember the exact date. It was after the 25th.
You actually made a note in your investigator's chrono on that point, didn't you?
Probably, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
This is an investigator's chrono that you took as part of the investigation of this case, right?
Yes. In the narrative, Form 3.
And you said that you were informed of this on the 27th. Isn't that what it says?
On the 27th? Okay.
All right.
Is that what it says?
Yeah. You made it your way out to Carrollwood, though, on the 29th.
Right. I was there on the 29th again.
Okay. So 2 days after your first visit to Carrollwood, Dr. Murray talks to the police. You know that from your chrono, right?
Yes.
It was 2 days after that before anyone ever went to Carrollwood.
I don't know if they were there in the meantime.
You can testify to what you know, and you know you did not go out there until 2 days later. Is that right?
I was there on the 25th and then the 29th.
All right. Okay. One of the things that you saw on the 25th was this IV bag.
Correct.
And it was hanging from an IV stand.
Yes.
Right? And there was tubing attached to that.
Yes.
And there was a syringe.
Yes.
On the 25th, that was part of evidence or items that you saw at the scene that you never collected.
Correct.
You collected that only for the first time on the 29th of June.
Yes.
In fact, in your original 3A form, you never even mentioned that there was an IV bag or an IV stand or a syringe hanging from the IV bag.
Not on the 25th, no.
It was actually 2 days later, right?
In the case notes.
And where you said, oh, I forgot to mention the IV bag, the IV stand, and the syringe.
Objection, argumentative, misstates the testimony.
Sustained.
Did you say in your coroner's notes that you neglected to mention it?
I believe I wrote that I have additional details to add to the report that I did not mention in the first narrative.
You mentioned that you did not describe the IV stand in your initial report, right?
Yes.
You also did not describe the saline bag in your initial report, right?
The saline bag on the IV stand,
Right.
correct.
And or the syringe or the tubing, you did not describe that in your initial report.
I did not describe it, correct.
You did not describe that in your investigative summary either. Narrative,
In
investigative
the
narrative.
narrative, correct.
That narrative was part of the coroner's report, was it not?
Yes.
Okay. After the 29th, would you consider that a mistake, Ms. Fleak, on your part?
I described something in detail later on. I didn't include it in the general initial narrative. Is it a mistake? I could have described it more in detail.
You could have described it at all, right?
In the initial report,
Yeah.
yes.
When you finally decided to put in your chrono, did you base that information on notes that you had taken at the scene?
The IV stand and... No, I believe that was going from further memory. That was from memory.
Had you by that time destroyed your notes from June 25th?
I don't know which day I actually destroyed the hand notes.
After the 29th of June, you never did make your way back to Carrollwood, right?
No,
That's correct?
that's correct. I did not go back after the 29th.
Most of what you did in this case after the 29th of June was to collect medical records. Is that fair to say?
Yes, I did that after.
And you were interested in, and we've already seen Dr. Murray's medical records, that was presented today already, but you collected other medical records too, is that right?
Yes, I did.
And these medical records, the reason you collected them is because the pathologist needs to see what the particular individual that he's investigating has been doing in the last few years.
The reason I collect medical records is to get a full picture of the decedent's health and to figure out if that person has any medical problems or just determine what type of medical care that person had been given.
Can you tell us the doctors that you requested medical records from?
Can I tell you who they are?
Yes.
Their names? Yes. I have to refer to my notes. Dr. Murray, Dr. Klein, Dr. Metzger.
Let me stop you right there. Dr. Klein, who is that? Can you give us the full name?
Objection, well, withdrawn.
You may.
Dr. Arnold Klein,
Who else did you collect records from?
Dr. Alan Metzger,
Okay.
Dr. David Adams, Dr. Mark Tadrisi,
Could you spell that, please?
Tadrissi, Dr. David Slavitt, Dr. Randy Rosen, a nurse named Sherilyn Lee, UCLA Medical Center.
I want to show you.
Wait. I don't know if the witness is done.
Oh, are you done?
No.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Dr. Coughlin and Dr. Hofflin.
Do we approach him?
You may. Thank you.
Can I have a second, Judge?
You may.
Ms. Fleak, is that an exhaustive list of the records that you obtained?
Yes,
Were there other doctors you spoke to that did not provide you records?
I believe so.
How many of those doctors did you contact?
I think that one or two additional ones that said they didn't have records or they never actually treated Michael Jackson.
During your I want to show you People's 104, which is a photo of the table that's next to the bed. Is that right?
Yes,
Did you take this photo?
I believe I did take this one.
And we can see in this photo that we have 3 pill bottles, bare aspirin. All this was put into evidence. You remember that?
Yes, the
Okay.
medication was.
All right. And over here we have a juice box.